With us now is Kevin Weeks, and he's used to being on the ice because he said it's a little warm in here. But how are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you? I love the new studio. It looks amazing.
Thank you so much. So at what age did you actually put your first skates on?
6 years old. Yeah, I was 6. It was 1981 back home in Toronto. That's when I first got on the ice. And in fact, I was on the ice before I even got skates. Old school winter Cougar boots back in the day.
Oh.
Yeah, at our local park at Hillcrest Arena in the park itself, and then went to St. Mike's Arena. And the rest is kind of history from there. I knew right from the age of 6 that I wanted to play in the NHL, and the rest is history.
Now, when you go home, do you still go to that park?
I always do.
Isn't that nice?
I always do. I always go to that park and Christie Pitts Park. Yeah, the two that I grew up kind of starting to plan, and then St. Mike's Arena. I was just there during Christmas time, yeah.
We were talking about who we are at the core of our beings. And one of the things that I do when I go home to Florissant, Missouri, is I go to Walker School grade school and I swing on the swings.
Nice.
You know?
Of course,
and they don't have the same slide anymore. But
yeah.
Kevin, they had the greatest slide where you could actually hold on to like where the ladder is and you could actually do like a somersault, like flip yourself over. They don't have that slide anymore, probably because it was too dangerous.
Sure.
But the swings are still there.
Yeah.
And so I try to get like my feet all the way up on top of the tree. And now the tree's grown a lot.
Of course.
So now I've got to get my legs much higher.
That's positive nostalgia, though. That's great stuff.
Thank you.
Yes.
So we were talking about personal brand.
Sure.
And being our best selves. So let's talk about that, what that means to you, about high performance.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of authenticity, as you can see. You said high performance, and I'm used to being on the ice, hence that's why I'm a little bit sweaty. But I think the biggest thing for a lot of people is quite often you want to be as authentic as possible. What's natural to you, what's authentic to you, and what's of the highest value. You want to stay true to those things. No, not dissimilar to you. We were talking off camera about your Zenith television set from your childhood. See, that's the type of stuff. I mean, that's at the core of who you are, as a part of your childhood experience. And not only that, you've manifested that. You've been able to manifest that. That's why we're here today. That's why you've got this amazing studio and the great career that you've built and you continue building. So I think that's a big part of it. You've got to identify what's your passion point. You also, from that passion point, have to identify what's natural. And then you got to go after it. And the hardest part about that, it's interesting. I knew this since I was, again, 6 years old. Miss Mahar was my teacher in first grade. And I said, I'm going to play in the NHL. I'm going to play in the NHL. I'm going to be an NHL goalie. But I had to put the intention out there. But then after that, even as a kid, I was a fan up to a point. So I was watching the Toronto Maple Leafs. I was watching the Rangers. I was watching the Islanders. Of course I was watching all these other goalies that I aspired to be. But in the meantime, I was doing all the work.
You're taking the action. You were actually putting the skates on and doing it.
Absolutely. I was putting the skates on. Our coach, Mr. Armstrong, our late coach, God bless him. Mr. Armstrong, had not for him, I wouldn't be here. Just the extra practices that we had. Summertime, you guys are on Long Island. You know, we have cottage country back in Toronto. A lot of people are like, oh, we want to be at the cottage. We want to be at the lake. And why does Joey have to come to practice? Why is the team practicing in the summer? That type thing. But I was always literally foaming at the mouth for extra practice, extra power skating, goalie school, and all that stuff. So I knew that as a kid. So that really helped drive me to accomplish what I've been able to on the playing side. And then the same thing on the TV space, as you know. So I think the hard thing for people is really the easiest way for me to say it, it's funny because I'm laughing at it now. The easiest way for me to say it would be to draw a line between being a fan and being proactive. That's the hardest thing. And I'm trying to say that as eloquently as possible, because I find so often we're fans of things.
Right.
Oh my gosh, it's Donna Drake. Oh my gosh, it's this person. It's Ellen. It's Oprah. It's Barbara Corcoran. It's Kevin O'Leary. You know, it's all these different people. It was Prince. It's Elvis. Everybody looks and aspires, and you're looking at all these people and you're feting all these people, but then you're not as proactive in our own lives. So you can be a spectator to a point and be a fan of everybody else's excellence, but the key point for me is really being a proactive participant in trying to manifest what it is that you want and what you're trying to accomplish. Just don't settle with having a foam finger on and cheering for the Islanders. That's great.
Right.
They appreciate you, but you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family, your highest self, to be the best that you can be in whatever it is you aspire to do.
I like the way that you put that. And maybe not all of us get to grow up and have a television show or play for the NHL, but you could have a job that's related to that.
100%.
You could still be part of the experience. Like you said, don't just be a fan. If you're that passionate about it, figure out a way that you can be connected to it.
No question.
Right?
Well, it's such a bigger industry.
Yes.
Right? So we're here today. We're in your studio, your lovely new studio, I might add, but
Thanks.
You've got an entire team.
I do.
Right?
I'm the most blessed person in the universe.
Right.
I have myself in the Zenith, and then surrounded are 60 people that are like
this is it.
Blood, sweat, and tears. And
Totally.
they're so passionate about what they do, which makes what I do possible.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely right. I love that you nailed that, because being a former team sport athlete, and having that mentality. It's the same thing for me at TV at the NHL Network. You know, I can't go and do sound, lighting, staging, everything else, all the logistics, run cable, do this, satellite transmission. That's beyond my level of expertise. Let's be honest, okay? Let's kick that out of the window. If it was up to me, we'd never make it to air because I don't have those skill sets. So I love that you highlighted that. It's important for people to look. And the same thing, you know, entertainment. You know, it's the same thing. You have audio techs, you've got directors, you have producers, we have script writers. Same thing in sport. I mean, you know, I'll speak from a hockey standpoint, but it's the same thing. Your medical staff, your training staff, your front office staff. It takes all those different people. Yeah,
everybody
my parents
matters.
always say that. Yeah,
right. Everybody matters. Speaking of everybody mattering, so now we are, while we're recording this, we're in the race for the Stanley Cup.
Yes, we are. Yes, yes. I know why you're laughing for two reasons. I know why you're pumped up. Tell us.
Well, there's so many exciting things going on. Well, the other day, well, you know my son Matthew,
of course.
Biggest hockey fan there is. So Matt calls me, he goes, "Mom, you watching this game?" He goes, "The Bruins." And I said, and I'm asking him, I'm like, "Well, what do you think of the guy's hockey mask?" He's like, "Mom, but the game, right?" So I find the whole thing of it just so wonderful. You know, no matter who wins, it's just so enjoyable, especially during like this, you know, the heat is on, right?
Of course.
It's like happening.
Of course.
So yeah, the Blues, the Islanders, some good teams this year. And who are you happy about?
I'm happy about everybody because I got friends on every team.
Yes, you do.
I play with guys in different teams, and you know that are now in management or coaching, still playing, you name it. But since we're here, since we're on Long Island,
we are right here
today.
today.
Since we're right here on Long Island in your studio, brand new studios.
Yes.
And since we've got our good friend Rich Salgado, Big Daddy standby, who's Long Island's one of the most connected people in all of sports and entertainment, as you know.
Yes.
It would be remiss if we didn't address the Islanders first.
Okay.
And what an amazing season it's been for them.
Let's go Islanders.
Right. Exactly. And you know what's funny? You could probably hear some Islander fans up and down Jericho Turnpike right now. But the biggest thing about them, and I'm going to tell you, this is the off season.
Yes.
This past off season, they went and got Lou Lamoriello as the general manager, who was the architect of the New Jersey Devils. I played for him in Jersey. Lou's a Hall of Famer, general manager, hardest working senior executive I've ever seen in hockey, not named Commissioner Bettman. He is amazing, and old school values, old school Italian family values, and he's really been able to impart those in the franchises that he's a part of. Now the Islanders, transformative in a sense, and then he brings in Barry Trotz as the head coach, who won the Stanley Cup with the Washington Capitals last year as their head coach. So both of them just having those values and the team seeing them. I spoke to some members of the Islanders this year. Okay, it was at the Garden. I admit it was after a game at the Garden with the Islanders and Rangers, but they said, "Weeksy, we feel like we're in the NHL now. Everything's so organized, everything is so structured. We have a game plan, we have great systems, and it feels way more collective. We're way more dialed in." And I mean, the results are history now that they're in the first round. They're up on Pittsburgh 3-0 against Sidney Crosby, I might add, in the Pittsburgh Penguins. So who would have thought? But that's a testament to those things we were saying. And then your St. Louis Blues. Can I say that?
Yes, my St. Louis Blues.
All right. I wasn't sure how. I was waiting to see how you were going to react to that. See the way she perked up. She's like, "Yeah, my Blues."
They're mine.
But yes, I know you're a proud Missouri native. But the Blues, same thing.
Yeah.
There's a goalie by the name of Jordan Binnington. I know him from back home in Toronto. He had played in the minors for 5 years. So 1 year in the East Coast League, 4 years in the American League, and the Blues were in last place. Donna, they were in last place.
Yeah.
And he came in and rescued the team, stood on his head, so to speak, and was just on fire in the net. And next thing you know, the Blues make the playoffs, and now they're going up against Winnipeg. So it's been a lot of fun to watch their transformation.
I know the secret to that.
Yeah?
You know what the secret to that
Tell
is?
me.
No 5-hole.
Ah, there you go. Woo! She knows what's up. And he rocks our gear too, by the way. Jordan Binnington does. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
But no, I'm so happy to see it. And the fans in St. Louis are so excited at the Enterprise Center, newly renamed Enterprise Center. Enterprise, a proud St. Louis company. So it's nice to see. I'm really happy for them. But the races, there's nothing like the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yes.
There isn't. I've got friends in every sport. I have the utmost respect for them, from Olympians to professional athletes across the spectrum. But
my goal is to kiss a Stanley Cup. You think we can make that happen?
I think we can.
Okay.
I
Can you get special permission?
I've got 2 of the cup keepers' names in my phone.
You do?
And numbers, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for more. Who knows what's going to be coming up next? Donna Drake hanging out with Kevin Weeks.